Dang, that's just cold, man. Let's do the show. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Lido Loca Cruise Show. My name's Tony. I'm your host. If you enjoy that cruising and travel content, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of the episodes. Well, it's a Saturday edition, Saturday, July the 18th, 2020, and I'm here to talk about cruising. It's almost cruise day. Said no one in the United States. What the heck? Here we are sitting at home again instead of sitting on the high seas. But I do have some cruise news for you. The first cruise news story I want to talk to you about: more cruise ships leaving the Carnival fleet. We know that the top brass, the leadership on high have mentioned that there'll be 13 cruise ships leaving Carnival's fleet over the next 90 days. First one, let's talk about the Costa Neo Romantica. This is a Costa cruise ship built in 1993, refurbished in 2012, 1,800 guest capacity, 789 cabins, 132 of those feature balconies. They are now gone. No longer a Costa ship, being sold to Celestial Cruises. And when you say Celestial Cruises, I got to quote Bill Shakespeare and say, well, that's all Greek to me. Okay, it's kind of Greek. It's Cyprus. They're a Cyprus-based cruise line, and now they've added this mid-sized ship to their fleet. And so they see this as an opportunity to bring more cruise passengers there into their section of the Mediterranean. And good, it's another cruise ship that is going to be repurposed instead of scrapped, and another indication that cruising is starting up again in Europe, in the Mediterranean. So that bodes well for cruising across the world. And then we have two P&O ships from P&O Australia being sold to the British company Cruise and Maritime Voyages, based there in the UK. P&O getting rid of the 1994 built Pacific Aria and the 1991 built Pacific Dawn. Cruise and Maritime Voyage, they're going to take possession of the ships in 2021. At that point, they will be renamed, refitted, and put into service, leaving the Australian area, going to Northern Europe. Interestingly, though, this is kind of a situation where they're getting some cruise ships out of the way to allow more cruise ships to go. And so P&O getting rid of these two older ships, and they will be bringing in the Golden and Star Princess. Those will transfer to the P&O Australia brand, and that will give almost 2,500 more berths in the Australian area. So I do think this is a good sign as cruise lines become more mindful of increasing the amount of sailing that they can do in other parts of the world. I mentioned it the other day in a video. Stats from 2018 showed that about 30 million cruisers went on cruises, and of those 30 million cruises, about 40% of those people went to the Caribbean or went to Alaska. So that means there's 60% of the world that people went to outside of what's traditional cruising for North American passengers. And so I do think it looks good for cruising. If cruising starts in some of these places where the pandemic is under control, at least the cruise lines can get some income, get some things going on while we're trying to fix what we're doing here in North America. 30 million cruisers in 2018, about 12 million were people that left from the United States, 18 million from the rest of the world. And so there's still a big group of people that will be able to cruise. As cruising begins to open up in Europe and Asia and Australia, more cruises will begin to happen, and hopefully they will be able to keep the business going while we're working on our new health and safety protocols and getting reopened here in North America as we battle the pandemic and try to get that aspect of life under control. Now, one ship that's not going to Asia in 2021 that was supposed to go to Asia in 2021 is the next Oasis class ship from Royal Caribbean, the Wonder of the Seas. Royal Caribbean had positioned this as a new ship there in Asia to serve the Asian market. It was going to be stationed in China, but because of delays, because of everything going on, there will not be the Wonder of the Seas in Asia in 2021. Royal Caribbean not announcing how much of a delay is there, not announcing when the next Oasis class ship will be coming out. That's a great class of ship. I really enjoy the Oasis class of ships. And so this is a little bit of a bummer for travelers in Asia that would have wanted to have that experience. They do have Quantum class ships over there. That's what I was on when I went to Asia. I was on the Spectrum of the Seas. But Quantum class ships, while fun, definitely different than Oasis class ships. So yeah, a little bit of uncertainty there. Not sure how long the Wonder of the Seas will be delayed, but not surprising considering the environment we find ourselves in. Another thing that's not surprising, as the CDC has extended the no-sell order, as the resuming to cruising here in North America gets pushed out even further, cruise lines are going to start looking for ways to put their hands on more capital. And Norwegian Cruise Line, they're going to be doing a stock sale, offering up $250 million of ordinary shares to the public. They're going to set the stock price at $15 to sell this, to raise $250 million. Cash flow, liquidity, the ability to pay operational costs to keep cruise ships staffed with skeleton crews while the cruising shutdown continues. It's only logical that these businesses would be pulling these funding levers to keep the coffers full to the best that they can, so that they can weather the storm and get to a place where they have regular income. As challenging as it feels when these companies start raising money, as questionable as it feels when these companies start raising money, the fact that they're able to continue to raise money, that investors do believe in the cruising industry, at least in the short term, is positive. It means that cruise life's not going to go away, but it does seem like the clock is ticking. You got to ask, how many times can you go to the well and pull up another bucket of money to keep the business going? But yeah, I think most of the cruise lines, they've said pretty openly that they've got a year to 18 months worth of running room to stay afloat. And I'll keep banging the drum as cruising begins in other places in the world. At least there's going to be some income coming in. They've slowed down taking on their inventory of new cruise ships. In many instances, they've deferred making payments on those cruise ships. So a lot of moving pieces there. It's going to be interesting from a financial perspective to see how long it takes for the cruise line to be whole again. Is it going to take 10 years? A lot of people worried the cruise prices are going to go up, but it's still capitalism. I mean, they're only going to be able to charge what people will pay. Maybe is there going to be a smaller cruising population that can pay more, and some people won't be able to go on cruises? That could happen. But at the end of the day, this is a business that wants to fill up cruise ships. They want to get as much as their inventory running again as possible. And yeah, they're not going to be charging double price for too long, because as soon as they can get everything back on the water, they're going to have to fill up those cruise ships. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Again, going to be interesting to see what it looks like 5-10 years from now. But yeah, right now it's hey, can you loan me $1? All right, so we've talked about a lot, some important, some not. Let's get to the important thing. This is a question that I've been struggling with that I need answered. What hull design do you like? Do you like the all-white cruise ship? Do you like the blue hull? Or do you like the funky paint stuff on the hull design? This is what I'm having trouble sleeping at night. You guys tell me. I'll go with the majority rules in the comments. White hull, blue hull, funky hull. I don't know. Help me out. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're having a great weekend. Please show your support for the show by being aggressive with the like button. Just click it. Click the like button. Let's see if we can get 1 million likes on this video. Yeah, and check out another Lido Loca video. Again, this is Tony for Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido, which I'm not sure where it's at on this Petri dish. Okay, bye.